Bumpity bum bum bum. Live again. Here's my comments. That's fun. Yes, it occurred to me that I love streaming. This is so much fun to me, and I haven't been doing it. And for no good reason. I even have this microphone I have to fix the audio issues we had early days and all that stuff. So I just need to remember to flip it on, like kind of whatever I'm doing. Pen.new/2. I was just about to launch into doing this work, and I'm like, I'm just going to turn on the stream to do it. There's this blog post that somebody I'm helping edit and get published for the Front End Masters blog that had a CodePen in it. And I'm like, well, I can help with that because I don't like, while this CodePen works, and the idea of it is I've already done one of these. There's kind of a before and an after. I could show you the before and after, but the idea is that it's it has some jankiness, performance, loading problems, and this is like the after that shows like, look, it's fixed now. And I ported one, and I'm like, oh yeah, I don't want to show it this way with just like this big chunk of HTML in the old editor. Even though it works, but it's like it's loading React in this kind of weird way. It's loading a standalone Babel, so JSX works in the HTML panel here, which is a little unusual, and the styles aren't in the CSS. It's just the style block. And I was like, we could probably like make this look a little bit more real worldy, and maybe I'll just port it to the new editor while I'm at it and explain how that is kind of working. So why don't I just say use the basic React template? So that's going to get React work. You know what? No, that's exactly what I don't want to do, isn't it? Pen.new/2. Part of what I was doing here is be like, let's not use React. I could show you it quick how to use React, that React looks a little bit more normal in this new editor, and that, you know, the file's named JSX. It doesn't have to be, but it supports that. And the JSX highlighting is normal, and you can just import React from React at the top here. And oh, what version of that? Well, it's in your package.json, so you can see it and manage it there. It's just a little bit more normal looking, and Prettier is working on the JSX, and you know, Babel is processing the JSX. So if you need to change anything, you can do it there. Just a little bit more like straightforward and normal of a React setup. But I guess I forgot what I was doing, which is that like I could easily port this to a much more modern React setup in the new editor, and there would be advantages there. But I was thinking, well, because this article has nothing to do with React, this article is about like removing jank from loading websites. I think React was just used here to simulate a little bit of like set timeout and update state stuff that just, I think some developers think in that way. But I read the article, and the article doesn't really talk about React specifically. I think it was just used because it was just used like, I don't know, like in a why not kind of situation. I'm like, that is going to be distracting, and there's going to be negative comments in the blog about that. If that's the case, it'll be just like, well, maybe part of your performance problem is that you're using React, you know, which is whatever, not wrong. So pen.new/2, instead of, apparently against what I titled this stream, I'm going to remove React from this as we're moving it. So I'm going to grab the CSS that they're trying to use, and I'm going to just copy it out of here and put it in an actual CSS file. That will be useful. Notice now it's all indented and stuff. Should I add Prettier to this processing setup? I could, or I can just right click and say format this file. That'll send it through Prettier without having to add Prettier to my build process. If I find myself doing it a lot, I might add Prettier to the build process. There's no shame in that, certainly. But so we've dealt with this and this and this. But we are going to need to like do the things in JavaScript that they're doing in React, but just not use React to do it. They have this main element here, right? And a header element. Let's steal their HTML and just put it in our HTML. And I guess we could format that too, but we're going to start seeing some weird stuff in here because it started life as JSX. So we should just remove anything that's JSX in here. Like, they want these links in the header to be white. So we could just be like, color white in CSS rather than manually doing that. Looks like they're applying a little margin as well. I guess the nav could just have a gap on it, right? This is header, but there's a nav inside the header. So why does it matter that this is display flex? It doesn't. Nav is display flex with a gap of 1 rem or whatever. That will push them apart a little bit up here. Cool. So we can get rid of that unnecessary JSX-y stuff. Oh, did this not format when I asked it to? It said it did, but it didn't. I happen to know that architecture is a little bit on purpose, but I think it's probably because the HTML looks malformed because of the JSX in here. So this says the loading state matches the final state exactly. So there's a skeleton wrapper and skeleton text. I see. This is what they're going with in this demo. If I refresh it, this stabilize section, can I just reload it? Oh, it has literal skeletons on it. Oh, I did not realize that, but that's okay. We can do that. So we have a skeleton wrapper that wraps the skeleton text and stuff. So let's just get rid of this JSX-y looking stuff. Style. What is this div? Why doesn't it have a class or anything? I'm going to have to add the class. Class equals skeleton box, I guess. Where is all that skeleton stuff? Skeleton box. And did I cut it? I'm going to cut it. Skeleton box. And just paste the garbage there, but I don't need to keep all the garbage, and I need to correct it like it's corrected. 3/2. Background is this light gray color. Fine. So that's like the before, and this would be like the after. So notice how rock solid this felt. Oh, I see. Look at the freaking JSX styles on it are very weird. All right, this thing is that scroll bar thing. I'm going to cut that off and say that the ID of this is like late scroll bar, because I think the point is that it's going to have a height of like 101 viewport heights, and it's display none at first, and then a set timeout makes it appear. And the point is to demonstrate, oh, look, even when the scroll bar is there or not, it doesn't move around the content, which is actually a nice little demo and I think is highly appropriate. We could do that one first, right? So we could just say in here, set timeout has a thing in it of, I don't know, 3 seconds or whatever, and then window dot late scroll bar, we called it, late scroll bar dot style dot display equals block. So 1, 2, 3, and then it shows up. 1, 2, 3, there it showed up. Oh, and it didn't move anything already, and it probably didn't because this is the fixed demo, which probably has scroll bar gutter stable. So nice. This is kind of proving that it works. Good. Making progress here. And I think this is like my goal is that this is cleaner than this looking at this JSX-y stuff would have been. So is this going to format now? because I removed it. Yeah, I was happy to format now. Okay, that's cool. So now we just need to deal with that, or I don't know, who knows how many more tasks we have left, but this skeleton was the before, and then we need to deal with the after. Let's look at what it was doing. Like, how does it, what are those, like, those little promises and crap? How does that work? So they have use state and use effect. There's data that they can set that starts as null. Then they call load scene in a use effect with no dependencies, meaning it runs once and it runs right away, but that's just what JavaScript does, so we should be okay there. But having a load scene here, that's cool. We can just steal that. But obviously we're not going to be calling set state or anything. Can you use async at the root like that? Maybe not. I think we have to do a set timeout. And then can you do a set timeout that is async? Like, is that cool? Can you do that in JavaScript? I don't know. I hope so. Let's wait 1,000 seconds for that. And then this async function inside of it should be like cool with that, right? Format. All right. So it's going to do a promise where it's calling another set timeout. R must be some render function or something. What is R? Oh, it's just the param. Text arrived late. Honestly, that's freaking me out a little bit. I don't. Is it so that the R can be canceled or something? It's just like naming the function that or something. I don't want to do it like that. This text arrived late. We can, if we're just doing that, why don't we just have the text arrive late? So that's that. Data.text. So here we'll have ID equals late text. And then we'll say, we'll back out of this and say window.late text dot, I don't know, inner text, I guess, equals whatever this thing is. And it's a promise. So this second promise needs to work too. So there's a late image. So let's say it doesn't even have a source, but the ID is late image. Fine. And then instead of calling that, we'll say window.lateImage.source equals that. And now both of these promises will run. Will they? No, I've done something wrong. Let's clear the terminal and run it again to see what the actual error was. Unidentifier text. Cannot set properties of undefined. Is it because source is empty? Window.lateImage. Oh, it's IMG. Late image. You gonna pop in? Yeah, it popped in, and this text arrived late. That's cool. So it's something later that's happening. Oh, this set data thing. Whatever that is, we don't need to do because we're already kind of handling it. So there's still that text problem. Where's text showing up? I don't understand. Unexpected identifier text. Oh, what, on line 6? I'm not seeing it. Run. So it's happening after the 2-second callback? Is there like a syntax error in here? Dum-de-dum. I don't know what it's saying there, really. It's doing what I want it to do. All right, well, those skeletons aren't showing up properly. And the idea was that, like, the skeletons would... Oh, is it that? That's kind of messed up. Probably not. Anyway, we'll fix that eventually. Why are the skeletons not showing up? Let's see in the CSS where those are styled to see why. Is there a display none or something? Ooh, that's a little weird to grab. Did that get thinner? I don't know. Find skeleton. Okay, it's got an animation on it. It's got a background. Yeah, pulse. I don't see anything that would make this not show up. So let's give ourselves some space here and inspect the skeleton and see why it would be hidden. Wrapper, skeleton text. Oh, just a CSS mistake, I suppose. Yeah, it certainly doesn't need those quotes around the background color. I'm sure somebody saw that much earlier. So that's that. So when we hide and unhide in JavaScript, this is the thing that React actually might do smoother than we're going to do it. But when we replace this image and this text, maybe these should not be two separate promises. They should happen at the same time if they're both related to that same skeleton. So let's maybe do that. Or does the timeout return? I guess we could just make them happen at the same time. And we really don't need this R, do we? Is that what it's mad about? Yeah, the problem went, oh, it did not go away. What is this identifier text? There's no text identifier in here. Am I just doing something silly and wrong? Is it texts elsewhere? It's very confusing to me. But they both happen at the same time now. So when they're done, this waits. So I could just do it here. It's kind of like it doesn't matter. I think I like the idea of combining these. So this little job can happen with this guy, but this set timeout needs to become a function that does this. So it can do two things. Comma. And you can go away. Save. You know if it formats that it'll be okay. Okay. Line 21 has a problem now. Oh, this whole thing is a set timeout. So it's like, this is like a double set timeout. This is really unnecessary. Does it fold okay? Yeah. Do you fold okay? Yeah. Do you fold okay? Yeah. So do you actually have a problem, or was that? Oh no, we fixed all our problems in life. Good job, team. Thanks for hanging out. When these arrive, the skeleton needs to go away. That's the whole point. So we'll just be like ID skeleton, and we'll just hide it, right? Like that's all there is to it. Window.skeleton.style.display equals none. So, yeah, all right, that looks fine. That's the point that this author is trying to make, is like that, although the broken image, I guess these need to be hidden though. Like late content, div late content. We'll need to swap that out. So I'm messing with their HTML structure then just a little. But it's the same kind of deal, like window.latecontent.style.display equals block. So I won't see this dynamic thing below, right? Or no, I need to hide it in CSS. Late content is hidden by default. Late content is display none. So this had a skeleton in their demo, didn't it? If I make their side bigger and refresh this, this text didn't say this text arrived late. I thought Command-Shift-7 refreshed. Go, refresh. There it goes. Yeah, it does. It has a little thing. So this rock solid, my cursor is right at rock solid. I'm not going to be able to do that. Oh, cursor. It seems to, yeah, it's not perfect. Theirs is not. It still reflows a little bit, but I believe in the article they said like the point of like promising all these together, which I probably should split up the timeouts a little bit. I think, yeah, they had a point with doing the promise.all is that like these timeouts can all resolve at different times, but then it doesn't even get to this load scene. Oh, is that the problem? We don't actually call load scene because it's not even defined. But anything you do here will wait. Anything you do will wait and happen once. So like we could like pretend these are API calls and then like do all this here at once so that like even things that happen at different times, it's like, you know, ideally you're avoiding reflow at all in a web app. But the second best thing is if you have like dynamically loaded later content that at least it only happens once. If it's like reasonable, if the things are going to resolve within a reasonable amount of time. So I think, you know, that's the point they're trying to make. But interestingly, they have that line of text, skeleton text. We're not dealing with that, right? Or what is skeleton text? It's 1M, has a background, 80%. Why does that not show up here? And why shouldn't this be swapping out? Did I break something? Obviously I did. Oh, it's right. You do have to call load scene. It's anything down here that's, you know, happens once or whatever. Okay. Sorry, dummy. So if I refresh this though, where's my skeleton line? Where is that? Skeleton text. Skeleton text has a height of 1M and a background and all this stuff. That all looks correct to me, but you don't see it. Skeleton text. There's nothing hiding it, right? So if I get rid of all this JavaScript and refresh the page, where is it? Where's skeleton text? It's right there. It has a height of 0. Why do you have a height of 0? When clearly the CSS that applies to you has a height of... Oh, rookie mistake here. All this HTML has React style class name on it. Duh, come on. Is there any more? Class name. No, I don't see any more. Good. So now when I refresh this, I'll see the skeleton here. Nice. And it loaded up. It loaded up just fine. Why? It's interesting that it moves just a little bit. I think the aspect ratio of the image that loads probably isn't exactly 3:2, because otherwise this should be exactly the same, right? Or is the size of this text, as he put height equals 1M, but this is probably actually taller than 1M is tall. Is it 1LH though? Would that fix it? That would be interesting. Height LH. Will that like perfectly stabilize? Basically, we're looking at this to see if it moves or not. It still moves a little bit. That's funny. It probably is the image then at that point. All right. So I think we almost accomplished the goal of what this user is trying to do. We totally got rid of React because it's not really part of the of the spirit of the thing. It's just not necessary. I have no problem leaving a demo in React. And in fact, I'm kind of proud of how using React works in the new editor, but we just didn't need it here. So we removed it. We have just in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript as the Lord intended. And a nice looking demo here. Ooh, wow. When this page got a lot more space, it lost. I should try that again. Split. Sure, split it with Shop Talk Show. And then this demo like disappeared when this closed. That's fine. I don't know. Weird quirk. All right. I'll have to do a little bit more detailed comparison of all the lines of code in here to make sure it's doing what it wants. But I think the points they're trying to make are mostly sound. Ooh, I got to look at that one. That was what they were trying to fix, is that like jumping down in content had a margin, had scroll margin top that fixed that. That's supposed to be the fix. Are these not H2s? They are H2s. They do have scroll margin top of 80 pixels. And is it just not being honored? What if it was 180 pixels? No, it's not being honored weirdly. All right, I'm gonna have to look into that. I'm sure it's just something I screwed up, because I think their demo worked fine, right? No, it doesn't work fine. So their scroll margin top fix didn't work at all. Maybe it's scroll padding top. I thought scroll margin top would work there. Maybe it's supposed to be scroll margin block start or something. Scroll padding top? No, I'll have to look into that. But their point is that that's supposed to not be underneath the header. It's one of the problems they're trying to fix, but it's clearly not fixed even in this original demo. So I'll have to fix it for them. And now there's 6 people here, so maybe I should fix it now, because I feel like I shouldn't punt on it. Oh, this is a totally different demo. We can look at this some other day. Where am I? I just totally lose what I'm doing. Apparently. All right. This one was interesting. This is the one that I ported first that displays all the problems. So if I reload this, you can see like this dynamic text pushes this away. The sidebar shows up and it pushes the content sideways. When you jump down to a section, it hides the header. They're trying to demonstrate like problems here, and I thought they did a pretty good job of it. But then I thought, well, we're going to have to fix a hostile website. Cool. Blue to show it's the good version. I'm just going to like look through this modern fix for Windows and Linux users. I don't think that that's true. I'm a Mac user and it works just fine. It does have that is a little bit of a downside, isn't it? That like scroll bar stable, this is supposed to be a blue bar that stretches all the way across the top of the page, and it doesn't, because it's reserving room for the sidebar. That's a little annoying. That has a downside. Has downside of I don't know, like browser width bar not stretching to edges. That's like a problem, I think. All right, and so why is their header is fixed, the height is 60%? Oh, that's why they had that. When I moved the flex, I think that's what they were doing here. This they had like align items center or something. They were pushing these to the middle. Which is fine. Let me save this. Apparently I have this open elsewhere. Yeah, I do. I could see myself collabing with myself, which I don't really care to do, so we'll fix that. All right. What else is going on in here? The padding has space so that this section is not touching the top of the page. That's fine. You know, if that wasn't there, this section would be like sucked up under the header, and that would be a problem. So they're fixing it, you know, at the wrapper level. That's okay, but it has this problem where you jump down. What's up, Kick? This is Arc. I switched back to Arc thinking that at post-sale they would be innovating on it a little more. which I haven't seen, but I still love this browser. They did a good job with it. Fix 2. They're fixing containment. I don't know what to think of that at the moment, but I thought this does look like the solution where when I click jump to section 2, you see how it's cutting off the header here. I think they're right. That's supposed to be pushing away from the top. I wonder if it's the late scroll bar that is affecting that a little bit. I don't know. I don't think so. Oh, I can't scroll at all because, let's see, I have to do that quick. Sorry about the weird streaming effect there. No, the late scroll bar is fine. Why isn't it honoring the scroll margin top? Like it's on there. Scroll margin top. It's not 80 pixels away from the top of the page is the question. So I may just have to look into it. To do broken, look into it. Because I don't even know what to try. Like if this page clearly scrolls, the element is right there. It has the CSS applied to it. It's just the effect of it isn't happening. My like debug toolkit is pretty light in that case. Like, I don't know why it would behave like that. Oh, is it because the H2 isn't the thing? It's scrolling to the section, not the H2. That's exactly what it is. So it should just be on the target, more like if I just go target. That might be a little too broad, but is that fix it? Yeah, that totally fixes it. So I guess that's valid because in this limited demo, this header is always there. So anything that you target, you would want to be pushed down from the top. So I think that's okay. Cool. Is that Grammarly showing up? You should put a space between your CSS selector. Thanks, Grammarly. How useful. Maybe we could put something in the code of CodePen that turns off Grammarly for stuff like this, because that is like never useful. Cool. Now we're actually done, right? Like the scrolling works, the loading of the late loading content works, the late loading scroll bar works. I don't think there's anything else that much. Does this thing actually pulse? Oh, it does a little bit. Is this what the kids are doing for skeletons these days? I thought we were like animating a gradient across. I thought that's the official look of a skeleton box, but now we're just phoning it in with a pulse, I guess. All right, I think I might leave it as that. Good to see you, Kick. Andrew, hi. It's been a while. Just got to remember to turn this thing on when I do some work once in a while. But yeah, this is just somebody else's demo that I want to at least like offer to them, like, hey, we should demo it in this way instead, because I think it's like less cruft in the way. So, all right, well, I hope to see you tomorrow. I really do have a ridiculous list of things that we could do this for. So fun.